What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the insane closing power of the new Shadow Whiscash in the Open Great League, which I feel like everyone's completely forgotten about since its release. A few content creators featured it in some practice battles since the Great League wasn't available at the time, but since the Great League has returned I've only faced it once in over 100 battles, haven't seen any more videos on it, and it's quite surprising since it's literally rank 12 on PvPoke and in my opinion is a massive upgrade on the regular version. But it kind of just goes to show you that if big content creators don't hype up a Pokemon, the GPL sheep just won't run it. Now as for the team, this is a pretty common team composition with a flying type lead and two mud boys in the back. I used Quagsire as a safe swap with the new Aquatail. Unfortunately I ran out of TM, so was stuck with Mud Bomb, giving it very little flexibility, which is typically not what you want from a safe swap, but the opponents don't know that, so you can often grab a shield or potentially scare the opponent into not bringing their flying type in at all, just because of that fear factor from a potential Shadow Stone Edge. I was able to climb around 300 elo in just 9 sets and finally hit expert rank this season, so it was very consistent for me, but obviously I've had to tone down the spice just a little bit in order to start climbing properly. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What is the most underrated Pokemon in the current Great League meta? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, and I'm actually sort of doing it in reverse order. This is going to be my final set before I hit expert, so I'm going to showcase all 5 battles, and then I will of course just showcase a lot of other random battles throughout the 300 elo climb that I did pull off in those 9 sets. But I've got quite a lot of battles in this video. I tried to narrow it down to just the best battles, but there were just a lot of them, so we've got nearly 40 minutes of gameplay. I'm sure you guys don't mind whatsoever, as the opponent makes a really nice catch onto their Registeel, but this is great for us. We come in with the Shadow Quagsire. I'm going to let the Focus Blast go through. We do tank that. We're not in range where they can farm us down either. We're going for a Mud Bomb. They are debuffed though, so I'm actually going to undercharge that. I'm able to get the Mud Shot farm down, come out with, look, it looks like 2 Aquatails already loaded, so if they come back in with the Shadow Dragonite, we can go straight for Aquatail, and Aquatail will actually take out the Dragonite from that range. They come in with their own Quagsire, and this is going to be game over for the opponent, unfortunately. We can go for the Aquatail. Doesn't do too much damage, but we can just spam these Aquatails. The opponent is going to have to throw a charge move to take us out here. We actually swap into our Golbat just to force them to throw their energy, and we also want to see what charge moves they got. They go for the Mud Bomb, so probably not running Aquatail, and we can come in with our Shadow Whiscash. We've got a shield advantage, massive health advantage, and the opponent just concedes the match there. So fairly straightforward first game, but into the next game we see an Altaria in the lead. So once again, pretty good to see the dragon and flying type Pokemon in the lead. Of course we do have the Blizzard on the Whiscash, which would easily nuke the Altaria, but it is quite hard to land, especially with 2 shields in place. So here we're just going straight Poison Fang once again. We shoot up the Sky Attack, we go for Poison Fang number 2, and if they let this go through, I should just be able to Wing Attack farm them all the way down. So the opponent recognizes that and they swap into Lickitung. Now Lickitung is really problematic for this team. Up against grass types, of course, you know the Mud Boys are going to do very badly, but the whole purpose is that we swap into our Quagsire, usually to bait out a potential grass type, and then Golbat can come in and just fully farm them down. But up against a Lickitung, Golbat isn't actually that good, so we're going to go for the Mud Bomb, grab a shield there, we make it to Mud Bomb number 2 before the opponent does make it to a Power Whip, and we grab both shields from the opponent, so that's quite good for us. I'm going to let the Whiscash go down, of course. I've got no shields remaining. Power Whip takes out the Whiscash very easily. But now we're going to come in with the Shadow Quagsire, and I've got to be very careful about a catch. I'm going to overfarm, and the opponent still makes the perfect catch there. Really good play onto the Altaria. It still takes them out though. So let's see what the final Pokemon is on the opponent's team. They come in with Alola Ninetales, so I'm going straight Mud Bomb here. I'm hoping that 2 Mud Bombs will be enough damage with the Mud Shot damage to take them out, but it doesn't look like I will be able to barely get that farm down. So instead, we go for the Mud Bomb. We swap here as the opponent reaches a charge move, but they choose not to throw, and instead that allows me to make it to a Poison Fang before the opponent can fully lick farm us down. I'm able to take out the Lickitung, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into the next game we see Lickitung in the lead this time around. So once again, this is a tricky Pokemon for us to deal with because of that Power Whip coverage that it does have. We're going to stay in, go for a Poison Fang. Eventually I will swap out just in case the opponent does have a grass type or some sort of flying type in the back, we do want to bait it out with our Quagsire. So we swap here into our Quagsire. Of course, a Power Whip would take us out from this range. Well, I think it would anyways. We go for a Mud Bomb with the debuff. It still doesn't quite take them out, so I'm going to use my shield as the opponent base with a Body Slam. Honestly, I wasn't counting there, so maybe they didn't quite have the energy, so that might have been a very poor shield usage. But the opponent comes in with a Medicham. We're going straight for Mud Bomb. We actually grab a shield there, which is quite surprising, but I'm fine with that. We're going to let the Quagsire go down to the Psychic, and we've not got much health left on our Shadow Golbat, but we don't need it. We do double resist the counter damage. We throw the Shadow Ball just before they make it to a potential Ice Punch, and Shadow Ball takes out the Medicham. They've got Steelix in the back, and this is a very good matchup for the Whiscash. We can go straight for the Mud Bomb. Of course, they're going to shield the first charge move here, and they will be able to go for a Breaking Swipe. I'm also going to use my shield straight away. I know that Licky Tongue is pretty much energy dry at this moment in time, so we go for another Mud Bomb here, and this is going to do less damage now that we are debuffed, but it is good to get it off before the second Breaking Swipe coming from the Shadow Steelix. They do throw straight away, and all we've got to do here is make sure they don't make another catch, and they don't. We did throw as we saw the Dragon Tail coming through, so guarantees that they don't make the catch. We swap into our Golbat. We're able to wing attack, farm down the Licky Tongue, and I'm able to take that game. Into next game, we see Shadow Ninetales in the lead. So of course we got two Mud Boys in the back. Gonna swap into our Shadow Quagsire, and I did realize after playing this matchup a few times, it is better to go straight for the Aqua Tail in this matchup, since two Mud Bombs won't quite be enough damage to take them out. So we might as well go for 3 Aqua Tails instead. If the opponent does overfarm like they're doing here, then we can make it to a third Aqua Tail before they even throw, and we do force a shield advantage, which is very nice for us. So I'm going to let the Ice Punch take us out. They will be able to make it to a potential Psychic, so I'm going to use my shield here. Psychic actually won't quite take us out since it did get a debuff this season, so I could have tanked it, but I chose not to. They come back in with the Ninetales. We bank a Poison Fang, and it is yet another Licky Tongue in the back. But we can build up to the potential Blizzard. Typically, I go straight for Blizzard since they don't shield the first move here, but instead, I go for Mud Bomb this time around. Doesn't really matter. This is definitely the safer play. We go for a second Mud Bomb there, and the opponent throws just before we make it to the third Mud Bomb, so very good timing. They do full send a Power Whip, and now this is just going to be a Body Slam, so I'm very fine with that. I'm going to continue to overfarm, make it to the back-to-back Mud Bombs. That way, if they do let this go through, we can throw another one straight away into the Ninetales. But instead, actually, I swap into my Shadow Golbat. We go for a Shadow Ball, which I don't expect to grab a shield, and it does huge damage. And the opponent just recognizing that there's not a lot they can do, so they concede the match there. And into the final battle of this first set, we're going to see a Shadow Alone in Sandslash in the lead. So of course we save swap into our Quagsire, and we are met with one of the hardest counters to a Mud Boy in the form of Serperior. Now, the opponent doesn't know what charge move we're running. We could be running Sludge Bomb or Stone Edge. We're going to go for another Mud Bomb here. We always make sure we did at least farm to a potential Stone Edge before we throw, and we are able to make it to another Aqua Tail before they get the full Vine Whip farm down, and we get them fairly low there as well. So obviously, very bad matchup. They get a massive farm down, but we can come in with the Shadow Golbat, and I should be able to fully wing attack, farm them down from this range, and only have to tank 2 Aerial Aces as well, which is really nice for us. I will come out with nearly a Poison Fang. Actually, I do have a Poison Fang loaded, but I'm going to immediately swap into my Shadow Whiscash, and the fact the opponent is staying in here makes me think it's a Lantern in the back. Otherwise, they probably would just swap out straight away. So we go for the Mud Bomb here. We do shield the first charge move coming from the opponent because I do think it is a Lantern in the back. I want to preserve the health on my Shadow Whiscash. We let the next one go through because I know it is just an Ice Punch there. We're going to overfarm, go for the Mud Bomb, and this will probably grab the final shield from the opponent. It does grab that shield. And now I'm going to shield here. I will actually slightly overfarm in this matchup. I know I'm going to be very low here, but I know that Spark will not threaten to take me out with just fast move damage alone. So we take out the Sandslash, and it is the Lantern in the back. We bank a Mud Bomb. We swap into our Shadow Golbat, making sure we can get off the Shadow Ball before they reach a charge move. They're going for the full Spark farm down, but it doesn't matter. We bank the Mud Bomb, and this will be enough damage from this range to take out the Lantern, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent. That was the final battle of the final set that I did with this team, and it did allow me to climb like 70 elo at least and make it to expert range there. very nice for us. Obviously, you guys know that I've been very low in the elo department for quite a while this season. But into the next battle here, we're going to see a Jellicent running Bubble in the lead. We're going straight for the Shadow Ball, and the opponent does reset the damage. I'm now going to swap into my Shadow Quagsire. I don't really care if they go for Shadow Ball or not. They actually bait with a Bubble Beam, which is quite unfortunate, but they're also not swapping out, so this is fine with us. It might mean that they've got something weak to ground or water in the back, or it might mean they've got a flying type that they just don't want to bring into a loaded Shadow Quagsire. So they go for the Shadow Ball there. We make it to another Mud Bomb in time. We are now debuffed, but this Mud Bomb grabs a second shield from the Jellicent, which is really nice. We're now going to come in with the Shadow Golbat, and the opponent swaps into Bastiodon. I'm not sure what they were thinking, especially since we did Safe Swap into a Quagsire. They must have thought, oh, they might be running double Mud Boys. I can't believe they didn't think about that at all. But here, we can just safely let this move go through. Even if they are running Flash Cannon, it's still going to be resisted. I don't know why they went for Flamethrower. That's just the wrong play completely. But we're able to Mud Shot, farm them down, and they come in with the Jellicent. We go straight for the Mud Bomb, winning the CMP tie, and Mud Bomb will be taking out the Jellicent, and they've got Altaria in the back, and this Blizzard is absolutely going to one-shot the Altaria, and I'm able to take that game. So you can see the opponent had a very RPS backline, which is why they double shielded their Jellicent, and also didn't want to bring the Altaria into the Quagsire because of the threat of a Stone Edge. So that's the thing about the Shadow Quagsire Safe Swap here. The opponent swaps and responds with their Medicham, and you can see I'm going for Mud Bomb. This is one of the earlier battles I did with this team, and I realized here that going for Mud Bomb is not the play, because now, unfortunately, I will not be able to take them out with another, or I wasn't able to take them out with just the Mud Shot damage there, so I do have to go for another charge move anyway. So 3 Aqua Tails is definitely the right play up against Medicham. We do grab the shield there, and if they go for the farm down, I would be able to make it to another one. So we'll just let the Ice Punch go down, come in with the Golbat, get the farm down, and let's see, the opponent comes back in with a Purified Gligar, so I'm going to let this move go through. Ideally, I want to grab a shield from the opponent before I swap into my Whiscash. We do overfarm here, we go for the Shadow Ball, and the opponent is going to shield that. And now at this point, I think I should just force them to try and throw their energy. But for whatever reason, I use my shield. I'm not sure why. We're going to go for another Shadow Ball. I don't know what I'm doing here. I should just swap into my Whiscash now, because it doesn't quite take them out there, and they've got a Licky Tongue in the back. So not ideal for me. We can go for the Blizzard, but it's just not going to do that much damage up against a very bulky Pokemon like the Licky Tongue. Well, they do actually allow me to make it to the Mud Bomb though, which is really nice. Mud Bomb doesn't quite take them out though, so actually quite good for the opponent there, as now we can get the farm down, but we don't get that much farm either, and the opponent has a charge move on their Gligar to throw immediately into my Shadow Golbat. Aerial Ace takes me out, and we do unfortunately lose that game there. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Sableye in the lead, so I will Safe Swap into my Shadow Quagsire, as that is a fairly neutral matchup, and we do bait out the Serperior, so not great for us, but we're going to go for the Mud Bomb. We did overfarm quite a lot here, and the opponent is actually going to use a shield there. We're going to continue to overfarm, and it looks like a CMP tie as well, which is really nice for us. We go for Mud Bomb number 2, obviously doesn't do much damage there, but the opponent throws their energy, which is really nice, because it means they're going to be able to get off less charge moves up against my Shadow Golbat. So we come in with the Golbat here. We can tank the first move here. They do have quite a lot of energy though, so I'm going to go for a Poison Fang. Well, actually, no, I don't throw it straight away. I'm going to try to go for the Wing Attack farm down, but I don't think it's going to happen here. We are not able to go for the Wing Attack farm down. I probably should have thrown some of my energy there, but I'm going to come out with 100 energy, go for the Shadow Ball immediately. I know that if we go for Poison Fang first, they'll probably let it go through, but going this way round, Poison Fang, even though it's resisted, will threaten a shield here from the opponent, and it does exactly that. And now we can swap into our Shadow Whiscash. I'm going to play it safe. They could go for a return, so I'm going to use my shield. It is just a foul play instead. They come in with a Shadow, a Alolan Sandslash. We build up to the back-to-back Mud Bombs, and this first Mud Bomb is going to do huge damage there. Potentially should have thrown, but then I just give the opponent a win condition. They go for a drill run, that does quite a lot of damage, but we do get the Mud Shot farm down, and the opponent didn't have back-to-back moves on the Sableye, so I just go for the BM Blizzard just for the sake of it. We take out the Sableye, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, so not a great lead. Gonna save swap into my Shadow Quagsire, and once again we're met with Serperior, so not ideal whatsoever, but we're gonna once again build up to a potential Stone Edge, and we grab a shield once again. Of course we could be running Sludge Bomb. Honestly, I would have taken either move over Mud Bomb, but it's working pretty well for us anyway. So in the end, even though I did get a few TMs just from doing battles, I didn't change the moveset because why change what's not broken? But here the opponent goes for an Aerial Ace, we're going to let it go through. This time around we might throw our energy just because I didn't want to use a shield like I did in the last game. And yeah, I do go straight for the Poison Fang here, and Poison Fang will be enough from this range to take out the Serperior. We come in with our Shadow Whiscash, and now this is a really tricky matchup. We've got a shield advantage. I'm going to go straight for the Blizzard here, not expecting them to shield the first move, but they do, and now that is really bad for me. Obviously, it would have been worse if I went for a Mud Bomb and they no-shielded it, so I felt like going for the Blizzard was the right play, but now they will actually be able to make it to another Weather Ball as I reach the Blizzard, so not ideal for me, and at this point, it should be game over, unfortunately. This Blizzard is going to do a lot of damage, but it is only neutral here, so Blizzard barely doesn't take them out. The opponent swaps back into their Stunfisk. We're going to swap into our Shadow Golbat, hoping to catch a Rock Slide. They didn't throw straight away, though, and at this point, a Mud Bomb is not going to be enough damage to take them out. They will be able to fully Mud Shot, farm down the Whiscash from this range, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Very tough team to take on in that game, but into the next game we see a Greninja in the lead, so gonna stay in initially, gonna use one shield, go for a Poison Fang, and then I will eventually swap into my Shadow Quagsire. This probably grabs a shield anyways from the opponent, and the opponent does use their shield, and now I'm going to swap, catch the move onto my Shadow Quagsire. They baited the first time around, and they're going to bait again with a Night Slash, so perfectly fine with me. They make it to another charge move. I'm thinking this might just be another Night Slash, and it is another Night Slash, and now at this point they're debuffed. We're going for a resisted Aqua Tail, but Aqua Tail will still be enough damage to take out the Greninja. And they come in with their Gligar, and then they swap into Clodsire, so this is looking really good for us. We go for the Mud Bomb there, as it does do a bit more damage than the Aqua Tail, and I'm actually going to come in with my Shadow Golbat as we completely wall its typical moveset, unless they're running Stone Edge. But they're not running Stone Edge, they are running Sludge Bomb, so what I'm going to do is bank a ton of energy and then swap into my Shadow Whiscash, hopefully catch another resisted Sludge Bomb, which we do catch, which is really nice for us. We are going to throw just before they make it to the next charge move. Mud Bomb from this range will be taking out the Clodsire, and we're just going to go straight for the Blizzard here, no point in messing around, and Blizzard from this range will easily one-shot the Gligar, and I'm able to take that game. But even if they shielded that, we had 100 energy on our Shadow Golbat, so we would have very comfortably won that game. But into the next game we see Defense Form Deoxys in the lead, so pretty good matchup here for us. Of course, Psycho Boost going to be super effective, but we can go for a Shadow Ball. This probably takes them out from this range, so the opponent does use their shield. We swap into Shadow Quagsire. We're not running Stone Edge, but at least up against this flying type we can hit for neutral damage with the Aqua Tail, so we let the first move go through. We're going for Aqua Tail, and we will absolutely be able to spam these Aqua Tails at an insane rate. We already at Aqua Tail number 2, and we're just 2 Mud Shots away from a third Aqua Tail here up against the Mandibuzz, and we want to throw it on good timing here, so unfortunately we don't get off the charge move. I'm going to let it go through. It's just an Aerial Ace, which does less damage than the Foul Play, and that will allow me to make it to 2 more Aqua Tails up against the Mandibuzz. And even though we're hitting full resisted fast move damage, just neutral Aqua Tail damage, we get the Mandibuzz incredibly low, to the point where one wing attack will take them out. It doesn't matter if they had 100 energy, as they only get off 1 charge move. They come back in with Defense Form Deoxys. So we're going to shield up the Psycho Boost, and then I will swap and try and catch the second debuff Psycho Boost onto my Shadow Whiscash, which is very nice. It doesn't do too much damage. The opponent comes in with a Sableye, and I'm going to let the Foul Play go through. I should be able to live this. I'm just going to full send a Blizzard here. I don't think I get off 2 charge moves here. It doesn't look like it as the Shadow Claw goes through. Blizzard grabs the shield, unfortunately, but I can come in with my Shadow Golbat. I know the Deoxys is pretty much energy dry at this point, so we're going to overfarm here, go for the Shadow Ball just before they make it to the next Foul Play. Shadow Ball takes out the Sableye, and can we outpace the Deoxys? Yes, we can. We get there just in time. Shadow Ball from this range will be taking out Defense Form Deoxys, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Golbat into Shadow Dragonite once again. So just going to stay in this matchup once again, go for the Poison Fang. We will be able to outpace them. I usually do wait like one turn there just to see if they're trying to make a catch. The second time around, I actually don't wait, just because if I wait any longer, the opponent probably will just be able to fully Dragon Breath farm me down. So typically they do catch the next charge move onto another Pokemon, but let's see, the opponent here is going to stay in with their Shadow Dragonite. They do get the full Dragon Breath farm down. We're going to come in with the Quagsire just because it is slightly less versatile, so I don't mind if we do lose some health here, but I will be able to go straight for an Aqua Tail, and from this range with 2-stage debuffs, we will easily take up the Shadow Dragonite. And they come in with a Licky Tongue, so once again, not ideal for us. We're going straight for the Mud Bomb here, and then I will swap into my Whiscash. I'm hoping that I will be able to go straight for a Blizzard in this matchup and then take them out here. So the opponent goes for a Body Slam. We're going to go straight for the Blizzard here as we reach it, but the opponent makes a very nice catch. I didn't see what came in. It's actually a Swampert, so I'm hoping that that puts them into perfect Mud Shot farm down range. It's going to be very close though. They go for the Hydro Cannon. Can we get the farm down in time? We're barely not able to do so, and if I was able to, then I could have just gone straight for another Blizzard into the Licky Tongue here, but unfortunately I'm not able to do so. They have a charge move loaded. Body Slam will be taking out my Shadow Quagsire, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see another Alolan Sandslash in the lead. So I'm going to Save Swap into my Shadow Quagsire, and the opponent is staying in here. So they clearly don't have a great response. They're going to try and chip and dip, going for a Drill Run, which does quite a lot of damage there as they swap into a Sableye. Now, Sableye, not quite as bulky as the Medicham, so I'm going to go straight for Mud Bomb in this matchup, and you can see 2 Mud Bombs will be enough damage to take them out. So we go straight for Mud Bomb number 2. Possibly could have gone for an Aqua Tail there, maybe would have made it to another one, but it doesn't really matter. The opponent does get quite a nice farm down though, so I'm going to come in with my Shadow Golbat. I'm going to shield the first one most likely. No, yeah, okay, I do shield the first one right at the last second. This should just be another Foul Play, not a return. So Foul Play, going to do quite a lot of damage, but I will be able to fully Wing Attack, farm them down, come out with a Shadow Ball loaded to throw into the Alolan Sandslash, and that grabs the final shield from the opponent. So we swap into our Shadow Whiscash. We do unfortunately lose CMP here, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to let the move go through. The fact they're not swapping out means they're probably quite weak to the Whiscash in the back. We go for the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb barely doesn't take them out, but they've got a Shadow Gligar in the back, and this is going to be game over. The opponent concedes the match just before we reach a Blizzard, which is unfortunate because it would have been nice to see that nuke landing. But into the next game, we're going to see another Shadow Alolan Sandslash, and we're going to Save Swap into our Shadow Quagsire once again. So the opponent's staying in here, once again, going to chip and dip. Probably don't have a great response to our Quagsire, and they come in with Azumarill. So we're going to go straight for Mud Bomb. Unfortunately not running Sludge Bomb, but it doesn't really matter too much. We're going to go for Mud Bomb number 2, and Mud Bomb will get them into the yellow health range already. They do make a charge move. At this point, I'm just going to let Quagsire go down. Ice Beam does take us out. Now here you could argue that I should probably go for an overfarm, shield once and come out with a ton of energy, but instead I don't want to use my shield. We take them out with a Poison Fang, and I'm pretty confident that it's either Sableye or Medicham in the back, and it is the Medicham. Now all shields are still in play. I don't think the opponent's going to expect a Blizzard, so I do full send it here, and the opponent lets it go through on the CMP tie, and at this point the opponent does the exact same thing as they full send the Psychic, and as a result they're able to counter farm me down. So I felt so good about landing that Blizzard, but suddenly the game's flipped on its head. I'm actually going to let the Ice Punch go through just because it's non-stab. It will do less damage. I feel like once again we're just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here. The opponent does shield it up, and unfortunately they will just be able to fully Shadow Claw, farm me down, and I lose that game with 2 shields remaining. So GG's to that opponent, very well played. But into the next game, we see another defense form Deoxys. So once again, going to stay in initially. They typically don't go for a Psycho Boost straight away. So we go for a Shadow Ball, and then I will swap out into my Shadow Quagsire, eventually trying to catch a Psycho Boost. I'm not able to do so, but the opponent chooses to throw their energy anyways. Clearly not having a great response to the Shadow Quagsire, and the opponent comes in with a double. So we're going to go for an Aqua Tail here. I'm not really sure a lot of times whether to go for Aqua Tail or to go for Mud Bomb. Here I try to throw it on the CMP tie, but the opponent doesn't throw their energy. They go for an Overfarm, and it's a bit tricky here just because obviously Body Slam will be taking us out, but they might be running Wild Charge on their double. So if I come back in with my Shadow Golbat, I do have to risk potentially taking a wild charge here, or I could just play it safe and use a shield. I do play it safe, it's just a body slam, which is unfortunate as they don't even reach another charge move, but that's fine. We do get the farm down, we've got quite a lot of energy, and the opponent's going to come in with their defense form Deoxys, so we go straight for the Shadow Ball, and I'm going to go for one extra wing attack and then swap into my Shadow Whiscash. Once again, trying to catch the move, we don't catch it, but the opponent throws anyways. They go for the Psycho Boost, and the opponent is staying in. They come in with a Diggersby. I think they tried to catch a Mud Bomb there, but I wasn't going to throw straight away. This Blizzard is going to do big damage to the Diggersby, and here I actually stop attacking, as I want to get the wing attack farm down on my Shadow Golbat. They go for a Fire Punch bait, so I start attacking again just to try and force the opponent to throw another charge move. They go for a Fire Punch, and now we can go for the wing attack farm down, come out with a Shadow Ball loaded, which is absolutely perfect for me, and a Shadow Ball once again will be enough damage to take out the defense from Deoxys, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Golbat into Heliolisk, so a very bad matchup for us. Gonna save swap into my Shadow Quagsire, and if they stay in, we can go straight for a Mud Bomb here. Honestly, could have baited with an Aqua Tail, but I might as well just go for the Mud Bomb there, just in case for whatever reason they choose to no shield. We can let the Breaking Swipe go through. Of course, they didn't farm to a potential Grass Knot, but they come in with a Medicham, and now here I think I'm only going to make it to 2 moves, so I might as well go for Mud Bomb in this scenario. And here you can see I wouldn't have made it to another Aqua Tail anyway, so Mud Bomb was the right play this time around. The opponent is able to farm me down, and they will come out with a ton of loaded energy here. I'm going to shield at the last second. It's just an Ice Punch bait, and now they will be able to make it to a Psychic. I'm hoping I can live this, and Psychic barely doesn't take us out. We get the wing attack farm down, and I do expect the Heliolisk to come back in, so I go for one extra wing attack, go for the Poison Fang, and the opponent uses their final shield there. We come in with the Shadow Whiscash. This is not going to be enough energy for a Grass Knot, so I let the Breaking Swipe go through, and once again the opponent tries to make a catch on the Mud Bomb there, but I overfarm. We go straight for the Blizzard. Blizzard one-shots the Palo Sand, and they come back in with the Heliolisk. We should be living a Breaking Swipe from this range, but I'm going to use my shield anyways, and I will be able to go for the Mud Bomb with double debuffed, but it does not matter. Mud Bomb will be taking out the Heliolisk there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we're going to see Shadow Golbat into Shiny Shadow Dragonair. So that is a really cool flex from the opponent. I actually did catch a Shadow Shiny Dratini a few days ago, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to wait like 3 months to TM it away, which is a bit annoying. But the opponent gonna go for an Aqua Tail here. I will now swap into my Shadow Quagsire. I would be able to outpace them there, but they come in with a Medicham. Now I'm expecting either Carbink or Bastiodon in the back. If it is Bastiodon, then I think we just win this quite comfortably. If it's Carbink, then it's gonna be a little bit more tricky, just because Whiscash doesn't have a completely dominating matchup where we can win even down 2 shields. But here the opponent goes for Dynamic Punch. It does take us out. We're now going to come back in with our Shadow Golbat, and I think I'm going to go for the full wing attack farm down here. They make it to a charge move. Actually, I'm just going to sacrifice the Golbat because I know that either the Carbink or the Bastiodon will completely destroy it anyway, so might as well just let it go down. We go for a Mud Bomb here into the Shadow Dragonair that comes back in, and we do grab a shield from the opponent. They're going to make it to another charge move, so I will shield this up. And the opponent does have a Carbink in the back, so this is a good matchup for us, but with 0 shields in play, it's actually not that comfortable for the Shadow Whiscash here. You can see the rock throws are starting to add up. We go for Mud Bomb number 2. We're actually going to have to throw a 3rd Mud Bomb, which is really awkward, but we do get there in time just before they make it to the charge move. I think that might have been a CMP tie actually, but unfortunately, we barely don't get off the final Mud Bomb to take out the Shiny Shadow Dragonair, and we do unfortunately lose that game, but GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, we see an Umbreon in the lead, so we're going to swap here, and the opponent does have a Shadow Venusaur in the back. Not ideal, but actually a lot better than the Serperior, because even if the opponent does let a Mud Bomb go through, it's neutral damage, and it will do quite a lot of damage to this Shadow Venusaur, and the opponent lets it go through, and that puts them into range where we can take 1 charge move and probably just wing attack farm them all the way down. So we're going to come back in with the Shadow Golbat. Let the first move go through as they go for Frenzy Plant, which is double resisted. Definitely not the play, and we do get that farm down anyways. They come back in with Umbreon, so we go straight for a Poison Fang. Poison Fang doesn't do much damage. We swap, and the opponent clears their debuff, but they come in with a Alolan Sandslash, which is a great matchup for our Whiscash. They actually let it go through, and they do barely hang on there, so Good matchup awareness there from the opponent. They go for an Ice Punch, does more damage than probably what the Umbreon can throw, and we also don't throw straight away, so they do go for a charge move, but we barely live the foul play there, and that is perfect for us. Bit accidental, but we do grab a shield with the Mud Bomb, and we should be looking pretty good here. We are up 2 shields up against the Umbreon. We're going to go for a Poison Fang. We will shield this next charge move. If they're running Psychic, that probably takes us out. But if they're running Foul Play or Last Resort, we probably should live both of those charge moves. But we play it safe anyways. We do shield. We go for the Wing Attack Farm Down, and I'm able to take out the Umbreon and take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Jellicent in the lead once again, and this Jellicent is actually going to be running Hex this time around. Doesn't make too much of a difference. We're once again going to full send a Shadow Ball, and if the opponent lets this go through, it will one-shot the Jellicent, which is really good for us. And they come in with a Mandibuzz, so I'm actually going to stay in with the Shadow Golbat initially, go for a Poison Fang here before the opponent does make it to a charge move. And I'm going to wait for them to throw. They actually don't throw, so we go for another Poison Fang. And at this point, I'm going to preserve the health on my Golbat, switch into my Shadow Quagsire. They are double debuffed, so even though we're only running Aqua Tail, it will do quite a lot of damage here if they choose to stay in. So instead, they come in with a Scrafty. But this is absolutely fine. We can go straight Mud Bomb in this matchup. Scrafty has decent bulk, but not quite as bulky as the Medicham. So this second Mud Bomb probably will be grabbing a shield from the opponent. It does grab the shield there, but they do get a massive farm down. And at this point, I think Whiscash is my win condition. So I'm going to let this move go through. They do full send the Foul Play, taking out the Golbat. But we can come in with our Shadow Whiscash, let the first move go through, and we had to make sure they didn't catch a Mud Bomb. They're not able to do so, so we can safely shield up the Aerial Ace, go for 2 Mud Shots here, go for a Blizzard, and this is easily going to be enough damage to take out the Mandibuzz, and we can make it to a Mud Bomb in time before the Scrafty is able to make it to 2 charge moves. This is just a power-up punch bait, but it doesn't matter. We make it to the Mud Bomb, and this will be enough damage to take out the Scrafty, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Shadow Golbat into Steelix. So I'm going to say swap into my Shadow Quagsire immediately, and the opponent is choosing to stay in here. They do eventually swap into Medicham, and now we do know that we can go straight Aqua Tail in this matchup. We've got quite a lot of energy as well, so I should be able to make it to 3 Aqua Tails before the opponent does throw their energy. And this Aqua Tail will get them very low, and we make it to the 3rd Aqua Tail in time. And this, from this range, will be taking out the Medicham or grabbing a shield from the opponent. At this point, I'm going to let the Ice Punch go through. They undercharge it, so I'm actually going to be able to make it to another Aqua Tail. At this point, I'm actually going to shield my Quagsire because I can grab both shields or just flip switch advantage. Don't really mind which one I get. And the opponent actually swaps into their Steelix. That was a very strange play by the opponent there, catching the Aqua Tail. But they go for a Breaking Swipe here. We can go for a Mud Bomb, and this is going to do quite a lot of damage to the Steelix. Hopefully takes them out, but we are debuffed, and they do barely live that, so we are going to let the Breaking Swipe go through once again. We do get the Mud Shot farm down, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They come back in with the Medicham, so we go for a Mud Bomb here, and Mud Bomb is going to be grabbing the final shield from the opponent, and I do make it to 1 final Mud Bomb before the Medicham farms me down. And let's see, what does the opponent have in the back? They've got a Lantern. Now this is really tricky for us. We've got a very low health Shadow Quagsire in the back, so we go for a Poison Fang here. We've got to be very careful about when we try to catch the charge move. They do overfarm for the first move here, so we're going to shield, probably going to be a Surf. It is the Surf, and honestly, after a few more sparks, we're probably in Surf range, so I swap as they reach the Surf, and we are able to successfully catch the Surf, and we will now be able to go for a Shadow Ball. They're debuffed. Shadow Ball from this range will definitely take out the Lantern, so the opponent concedes the match there. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Golbat into Shadow Charizard. So we are going to say swap into, well, actually, we're not going to say swap into our Shadow Quagsire. We're going to stay in, go for a Poison Fang. This probably grabs a shield anyways, and then we're going to swap into our Shadow Quagsire, catch the charge move as well. Not intentional, but the opponent goes for a Blast Burn. That still does huge damage here. We go for an Aqua Tail. Opponent possibly not expecting Aqua Tail there, as they don't swap out. They do use a shield, and at this point, I'm going to use a shield as well. As the opponent goes for a Dragon Claw, and they will be able to swap, catch the move, or try to catch the move onto Licky Tongue. So this time we go for the Mud Bomb, as it does do a little bit more damage than an Aqua Tail. Now we come in with the Shadow Golbat. All shields are down on the opponent's end, so we're going to let the Body Slam go through, go for a Poison Fang here, and then I will be able to come in with my Shadow Whiscash, and I will be able to take them out with a charge move here. So I'm going to probably have to shield here. honestly, I don't think they're at a power whip either, so not very good counting on my end. They go for the body slam. We're going to overfarm quite a lot, go for a mud bomb. And Mud Bomb with the debuff definitely takes out the Lickitung from that range. They come in with a Charizard and then they swap into a Wobbuffet XL level 50 Wobbuffet, and this is not ideal for us. Wobbuffet is just so damn bulky. We can go for Blizzard here, but it's just not going to do much damage even though we are a Shadow. I need to land another Blizzard here. I thought about making a catch onto the Charge Move, but I wasn't able to do so. We come in with the Golbat. I need to get to the Shadow Ball in time, but we barely don't get there. We are one turn behind. They make it to a Miracle, taking out the Golbat, and they're able to counter Farm Me Town and take that game. And I just got completely destroyed by a Wobbuffet. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, we see another Shadow Dragonite in the lead. Once again, going to go for that Poison Fang straight away. And the opponent will be using their shield, of course, and we will be able to go for another Poison Fang if the opponent doesn't throw their energy. So they do throw just before we make it to Poison Fang number 2, and the opponent makes a really nice catch onto Clodsire. This is going to be resisted damage, but that's absolutely fine. I'm actually going to stay in. They are running Poison Sting, so I bank another Poison Fang, come in with my Shadow Quagsire, and I will let this move go through. Now, with the debuff, I wasn't sure if a Mud Bomb will take them out from this range, so I play it safe. I go for the Aqua Tail instead. And Aqua Tail actually does quite a lot of damage there, so I think Mud Bomb would have taken them out. I do force them to throw a Stone Edge though, which is resisted, and that allows me to get the Mudshot farm down. They come in with the Shadow Dragonite. We go for an Aqua Tail. It is resisted damage, but it grabs a shield from the opponent. Unfortunately, the Dragon Breath takes us out before we make it to a second Aqua Tail, and the opponent makes another very nice catch, catching the Poison Fang onto a double resisted Alolan Sandslash there, but we can just come in with our Shadow Whiscash. Now, I'm not sure if the Dragonite is in Mud Bomb range, so I tried to overfarm a lot here. We go for the Mud Bomb, and this will be enough damage, of course, to take out the Alolan Sandslash, but does a Mud Bomb take them out here? I'm not sure, so I'm going to try to farm to the Blizzard, but I think in the end, I will just go for the Mud Bomb there. I don't want them to Dragon Breath farm me down, and Mud Bomb from this range does take out the Shadow Dragonite, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Golbat into Steelix once again. So once again, going to say swap into my Shadow Quagsire immediately, and the opponent responds with a Pelipper. Now, we are going to overfarm in this matchup to pretend like we've got a potential Stone Edge, and we do typically grab a shield from the Pelipper as well, which is really nice for us. We go for the Aqua Tail here, and Aqua Tail will be grabbing a shield from the opponent, and we do farm to the next Stone Edge here, go for another Aqua Tail. But what I realized is if we bait the first time, they're probably going to let the next move go through, and because of that, they're actually going to commit to a full Wing Attack farm down. I think the right play is once we grab a shield, just to continue to over farm and try and force the opponent to throw their energy as soon as possible, because now they come out of that matchup with a ton of loaded energy here. We can tank 2 Weather Balls, but they're actually going to make it to a 3rd Weather Ball before we make it to the Poison Fang to take out the Pelipper. So we're going to go for the Poison Fang here, and this will be enough damage to take out the Pelipper, and then I will swap immediately into my Shadow Whiscash, and the opponent's going to go for a Breaking Swipe, and then probably swap into whatever their final Pokemon is, and it's not looking too good for us. It is a Medicham, so not a lot we can do now that we are debuffed, so I will just surrender the game there. So even though we were able to grab a shield from that Pelipper, when they recognized that we didn't have Stone Edge, they played very well, and they were able to get a massive farm down and just completely flip that game. But into the next game, we see a Steelix in the lead. We go for our Quagsire save swap once again, and this time it's a Lickitung that meets us. So ABA weak to fighting. They probably have something very good up against Medicham in the back, or maybe even their own Medicham. We're going to shield here. The opponent goes for a Body Slam bait, which is unfortunate, but at this point we have put them into range where Aqua Tail will basically take them out here. It doesn't quite take them out. They make it to another charge move, but I was counting this time, so I know it is just a Body Slam, which we do live, and the opponent comes back in with their Steelix. We go for Aqua Tail here. We actually would have made it to a Mud Bomb, and the opponent, I thought they were just definitely going to shield that, but they choose not to shield the Aqua Tail, which is quite surprising. As they come in with the Steelix, they go for Breaking Swipe here, and we are going to go for a Mud Bomb. We throw straight away. I thought they'd try and throw straight away as well, but they don't. They go for the Overfarm, and now they are going to continue to Overfarm. They swap, they try to make the catch there, but I'm able to bank a Mud Bomb, come in with my Shadow Golbat. I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball, and this will one-shot the Medicham from nearly full health. They come back in with the Steelix. We can tank anything here, so we're going to let the first move go through. They go for the Breaking Swipe. Honestly, I can live another Breaking Swipe here, but we're going straight for that Shadow Ball, and this will be enough damage to take out the Steelix, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into possibly the final battle of this video. I know it has been a long one, so Props to anyone who has made it this far into the video. I do really appreciate the support. But we're going to lead into another defense from Deoxys. They go straight for Psycho Boost this time around, and then they swap. They try to catch a Shadow Ball onto their Licky Tongue, but I don't throw. We go for a Poison Fang. Actually, no, it's not a Licky Tongue. It's actually a Vigoroth, and this is looking to me like it might be a triple counter team, in which case my Shadow Golbat is going to be very useful. So I probably should have tried to catch a Body Slam here, just because Body Slam would do quite a lot of damage, but instead we go for the Wing Attack Farm Down, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They are going to come back in with the defense form Deoxys, so we go for Shadow Ball, and once I get this off, I will swap immediately into my Shadow Quagsire. We're going to overfarm a lot in this matchup. The opponent probably going to go for a Psycho Boost and then dip into their final Pokemon, and it is the Obstagoon here. So we've got back-to-back Mud Bombs. What I should be doing is throwing them straight away, but instead we overfarm, and I thought I'd win CMP here, which I don't. And now that's really bad for us, as I let the Quagsire go down with so much loaded energy. We're now going to come in with the Shadow Whiscash, and what I'm hoping is that now all shields are down, a Blizzard should be able to take them out from this range. So we're going to go straight for the Blizzard here, throwing just before they make it to the potential Night Slash. And Blizzard barely doesn't take them out there, and they make it to the Night Slash as well, which is really bad for us. Night Slash nearly takes out the Whiscash. We immediately swap into our Shadow Golbat. I'm going to shield this up, and I'm just going to go straight for the Poison Fang. I know they're at the back-to-back Psycho Boost here, so we're going to go for the Poison Fang. This will not be enough damage to take out the defense form Deoxys, but they do quad debuff their attacks. I'm hoping with that 4-stage debuff, we can lift the counters and make it to a last-second Mud Bomb. I massively misplayed this game, but I'm still able to take out the Deoxys, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.